Ordinary Nigerians don't know that they are being used by these politicians, and that the politicians, you will see that they want to make you think that it's a problem of Hausa Fulani, and then the Christians who are absolutely, for me, as far as I'm concerned, the Christian pastors in Nigeria are worse than the Muslims, the Muslim clerics. And these same Christian pastors are the ones who are saying, no, your problem is not us. We are not your problem. They are diverting attention. We are not your problems. It is the Islamic jihadists that are your problem. It is the terrorists, the Islam. You see what is happening with the herdsmen? Yeah, you fight them. So our Christian population, therefore, they think their pastors are the best and their churches are great. The only problem we have in the country is not the pastors, it's not their doctrine, it's not their deception, it's not their colonization, it's not their slave plantation that they are forming in the church itself. It is somebody else. You see, I've lived in Russia, in Soviet Union, where the idea of communism, the reason why communism has been able to survive is that communism is always saying somebody else is your problem. Not you, somebody else is your problem. And even though there is problem, but when we begin to zero in on a tribe, on a people group, or on religion, then we kill ourselves. It's a path into self-destruction.
If people that are 50 years and above are dead, my generation that are 40 below are empty. Because we lack direction, we lack hope, we lack virtually everything, no moral life. Nigeria has been divided under religion and ethnicity. And I keep asking myself, the religion, the Christianity or the religion or the Muslim that we practice in Nigeria, is it the same that they practice in Dubai, Qatar, Singapore? Because when you see a Muslim from Dubai, Singapore, Malaysia, you will be asking yourself, if you see a Christian from England, somebody who called himself a Christian from America and other countries, you'll be asking yourself, is this the same thing that we practice back home? Buhari engineered the Fulanis, because prior to between 1999, while I was in secondary school then, my dad was doing my JS1, to 2015, the killing in Nigeria wasn't too much. As a child, I didn't hear it much until 2011, when Buhari lost the election. And he said, I heard it, I saw it over the newspaper.
All right.
I know of a guy that was the guy who was in my secondary, we were schoolmates, not classmates. He was killed. He was a copper in the Katsina state then. He was killed because Buhari lost an election.
Welcome back to Local Journal, my people. As they talk about the issues and the challenges all they face for inside this country called Nigeria, and where we always state out one of the major challenges all we get, where be the issues of these Fulani people, where we say that they invade every region and that they cause wahala and problem for inside every region. Some people don't come to talk, say no be them be the original problem of this country where we get. And as a matter of fact, some day of the opinion say even our pastors where we get for inside our churches today, say now them be the bigger problem past even the imams ready for inside Nigeria. Say the pastors they disguise as if na better people than be, but if they check out well they say now them be the people where bad pass, and according to them the hate where pastors they preach for inside the church now in they cause all the problems and the wahala where we get for inside this country. Others can't give their own opinion too, and they talk say this thing na lie na it be. Say now these people na be the genesis of the problem where we get for inside this country. Say nobody dey against them and nobody they talk say they come up from inside Nigeria if they dey peaceful. But the thing be say anywhere where they go, that they carry one agenda or the other, they go those places. And now the reason why it be say it be like say most Nigerians they despise them be that nobody hates them and nobody hate anybody for inside this country. But the thing is that considering the problems and the issues all they get for inside this country, if he talk say Nigeria is sitting on a keg of gunpowder because the situation no dey palatable at all, and every region dey complain of this contraption. So for inside this Edmond Obilo program wey dey tag the state of the nation, plenty people don come give their opinion about the situation of this country and the reason why Nigeria go continue to dey blame the Fulani people as the genesis of Nigeria's problem. Some blame the founding fathers of this country because they talk say the time wey they come together so that they go fit make this Nigeria united as one. Say all the people wey come together discuss about Nigeria, they no carry Nigeria put for head, they no carry the unity of Nigeria put for inside mind at all. Say everybody carry their own region come, everybody carry their own ethnic agenda come, and because of this reason na they make Nigeria dey shake still till date. Some also talk say na the politician wey we get for inside this country, na them be the people wey dey engineer all these problems. Them talk plenty things inside the video, and I go play the video so that we go watch the video together. But before we watch the video, if today na be the first time you visit our channel, make you like, make you share, and make you subscribe.
The question I often ask or wonder is why are other ethnic nationalities not as keen as the Igbos appear to be in their Hera declaration for the purposes of asserting their own independent nation? Or, even if not an independent nation, some level of autonomy, like it existed prior to the division of the states, when they have the regional government and Nigeria was able to exist as a country and at the same time functioned effectively.
Hello.
So that's what I'm wondering. Because it is obvious that what works or will work for this country is for each region or ethnic nationality to have some level of control over their own affairs so that they don't feel dominated or taken advantage of by other nationalities. Or by a nationality, ethnic nationality that appear to be stronger or more powerful politically and otherwise. So why are other ethnic nationalities not aspiring, so to speak, to have some level of control over their own affairs as a thing?
So, you see, the reason why we're having this conversation today is because Nigeria is not progressing. It's because we have a lot of trouble in our land. Stagnancy, corruptions, those are part of the symptoms of bad system. In my own humble view, as a layman, so the reason why we are not progressing, that is just it. And if two people are not progressing, or an institution, organization is not progressing, you have to look at the structure, the system that set up that organization, so that you know where the problem comes from. And I'm sure, for people who have discerning mind, they should be able to understand the kind of point that makes Nigeria to be stagnant, that makes us unprogressive, that makes countries like Singapore, even China, South Korea, to be ahead of us, even Brazil. Because I remember when I read books, I discovered that Nigeria was ahead of those countries, like Brazil, South Korea, India, and all those countries in the times of Awolowo era. So what makes us now today that now we are now lacking behind, we are now called third world country, and those countries are not like first world to us? For me, I think the reason is not far-fetched. Because for those people who believe in the Bible, there is a Bible passage, I think that Amos 4:4, that says, can two people work together except they agree? If there is no agreement between all the nationalities, we cannot progress together because there is no agreement. Because there's a lot of selfish interests all along. So Nigeria was founded on the principle or the foundation of selfishness. So when the four founding fathers of Nigeria came together, everybody in their pockets, they all have selfish interests. Everybody have ethnic interests, not Nigeria itself as an interest. I don't know how to phrase it like that. You know, I'm not a speaker like you. But like you said, Nigeria need great thinkers. So that's where I think I might not be able to express it properly like you will do. But I'm sure you understand what I mean. So when Nigeria was created, given to us as an independent nation. All the founding fathers, all of them, I believe, they all went there to the table, to the conferences, with their ethnic agenda, not nationalistic agenda. So there is no tangible agreement among us. That is the reason why Nigeria is not progressing.
I first found your clip with Tola Adeni like 2 or 3 years ago, talking about this Fulani question. And that was what got me interested. You see, the original clip, the full clip of that thing, Tola Adeni gave an answer to the Fulani question. My take on this is this. Buhari is come and gone now. So what I'm saying is this. What we arise again concerning this Fulani, because we should also understand that this same modus operandi was what Osman Danfodo used in the beginning against the Hausas. And Buhari succeeded in it. So now we should watch out again for the next move. Because in this 21st century, nobody can dominate anybody. That nobody will subscribe to it. Back to the same Tola Adeni, that if these Fulanis, they dare not attack conquered any Beron tribe, not even any Jokun or Tiv land, talk less of conquering Nigeria. So I think we are overrating these people, to me, honestly. I think the Nigerian of today is just a class struggle of people exploiting everyone's being to get to where they are.
Just to add to what the last caller said, I totally agree with him when he said a lot of people are using these things, like these ethnic sentiments, to get themselves to where they want to be. So the point I'm trying to make is this. Rather than seeing the Fulani question or the Fulani problem in isolation as one of the problems of Nigeria, I think it's better to approach it holistically and just say, look, this contraption is a mess. I noted that the last caller also said we should be thinking about, in this generation, what is next. What he means by what is next is not 2027 election. I bet maybe he can call back and prove me wrong if I'm wrong, because that is just going nowhere. Every 4 years, the election, and then it's just getting worse. People need to sit down around the table and say, all right, Igbo people, what do you want? Yoruba people, what do you... But, these things are easier said than done, because the people who are benefiting from Nigeria, they will do from one Nigeria, they will do anything to protect and defend their interests. But as far as I am aware, and I am Yoruba, I'm actually Ijebu, Yoruba people have had enough. And even though there are some infighting in the Yoruba struggle camp and all that, the collective decision, as far as I'm aware, there was a 5 million petition that was gathered by Mrs. Abiola, about 2 years ago. And that represents the decision of the people. I bet you not even 5 million Yoruba people voted for Tinubu to be president. Anyway, I don't want to take too much.
My question is to the Fulanese. What developments are they bringing to the table before you conquer? Is it only, I want to conquer, I want to conquer? Is it the only thing they are championing? Like Bola Muhammad will say, let them speak the language the community will understand. Let them, they are trying to bring them and caution them to settle in Nigeria and abide by the rules, then before executing their plans, because that is the motive. And the question is, like, I'll ask. I've seen an Igbo man going to the north, building a house. I've seen a Yoruba man coming down to Imo State, where I come from, building a house. But the question I want to ask, show me a Fulani man who have built, a modern day tent. A modern day tent. I want to ask, I'm asking Bala Mohammed, why is it that it is only the elites who remain in power that refuse that the Fulanis will not have a ranch? Must Nigeria become stagnant or become retrogressive because of the Fulanis are migrating to Nigeria?
So my own concern is that people want to make it look ethnic, as if it's an ethnic conflict, as if it's a challenge between a people group. Now, that whenever any problem, I have some principles. I'm going to be dealing with that in April HMT. And one of the principles is that whenever there is a problem in any nation or in a given country, never make the mistake of thinking that the problem is with a certain ethnic group or with a certain tribe or with a certain group of people. Once you begin to do that, then you are brewing the ground. You are creating the ground for civil war, national conflict, or ethnic conflict. Number two mistake that you should not do in nation building: never say a religion is at fault. So once you begin to focus on religion or on a certain tribal something as the reason for your problem, then you have failed from the beginning. You will never win it, because that is what we saw in Rwanda. That is what we saw in Turkey with the Armenians. That is, anytime people begin to see a group of people as the source of their problem, or a certain religion as the source of their problem, the whole country loses. Everybody loses. So, the idea is, that you see the politicians, especially the people who are in the former government, and people, ordinary Nigerians, don't know that they are being used by these politicians. And that the politicians, you will see that they want to make you think that it's a problem of Hausa Fulani. And then the Christians who are absolutely, for me, as far as I'm concerned, the Christian pastors in Nigeria are worse than the Muslims, the Muslim clerics. And these same Christian pastors are the ones who are saying, no, your problem is not us. We are not your problem. They are diverting attention. We are not your problems. It is the Islamic jihadists that are your problem. It is the terrorists, the Islam. You see what is happening with the herdsmen? Yeah, you fight them. So our Christian population, therefore, they think their pastors are the best and their churches are great. The only problem we have in the country is not the pastors, it's not their doctrine, it's not their deception, it's not their colonization, it's not their slave plantation that they are forming in the church itself. It is somebody else. You see, I've lived in Russia, in Soviet Union, where the idea of communism, the reason why communism has been able to survive is that communism is always saying somebody else is your problem. Not you, somebody else is your problem. And even though there is problem, but when we begin to zero in on a tribe, on a people group, or on religion, then we kill ourselves. It's a path into self-destruction.
So last year I made a video about this subject because, like the Fulani herdsmen, they've come to my farm to kill people, and they've butchered my workers. They've shot at me. They've done so many atrocities to me. They've destroyed my farm. Destroyed over $500,000 worth of my investment. So I have been, I've gone to the farm and meet my workers, butchered on the ground. So I've been an eyewitness of these atrocities committed by the Fulani herdsmen. But I've spoken with them, physically spoken with them. I've gone to see their leaders. I've really researched their activities. And this is what I have discovered based on my personal experience. There are not all cattle herdsmen, Fulani herdsmen are criminals. We have cattle herdsmen, even in areas where we operate, who are Fulani herdsmen. They are Fulani as it gets, and they are law-abiding citizens rearing cattle. They don't kill people, they don't destroy people's farm, they're just normal, decent human beings. So, the Fulani herdsmen, you have Hausa herdsmen as well. However, there are some cattle rearers who are mostly Fulani cattle rearers, not the Hausa ones, Fulani cattle rearers, that likes to destroy farms. Now, but those ones are not even the killers. Those are not the ones that are causing atrocities. We have a set of Fulani herdsmen who are the hired squad. What happened is that if those guys that are the aggressors who come to destroy your farms, they operate in the night, they carry their cows out. I've been there around 1 a.m., 2 a.m. in the night, they come out with their cows in their hundreds and they rush through your farm and destroy it and eat and create havoc. If they meet any resistance there, then they call the hired squad. And this hired squad, they are hired criminals, and they come into the area, and they come in tens and 20s of them, and they come with their AK-47, and they come and do havoc. That is how it is operated. That is how the operation is done. So there is this set of people, and they are known. They carry this aggression out all over the country. If you want to take inventory who are involved in these atrocities, there may not be more than 500 men who are transported from one city, one village to the other in the entire country, committing these atrocities. So, therefore, if you take the population of the Fulani today, and say you take 500 people out of it, maybe 1,000 people who are doing this atrocity, you have a couple of millions left. So a lot of Fulani people, the majority of the Fulanis are victims as well as the Hausas, as the rest of the country. There is a small group of people who have personal agenda, who are carrying out these atrocities from one part of the country to the other, because their will have to be met, and when that is not met, then the answer is violence. It's violent. Because you see that, so after I've experienced all this firsthand, then, I mean, there is no point, no doubt in my mind that, look, these people don't really care who they kill. They don't care who they kill. If you are, and the reason why they did that was because they accused these boys of preventing them from carrying out their objectives. And the objectives, according to them, was to make sure that we don't farm in that place, that we have to leave that place because that piece of land belongs to them, that the land belongs to them. So you see, the atrocity that is being committed, basically, if you track down those people that are leading this atrocity and you fish them out of that country, then there will be peace. Because there are not many. So it is not like, oh, people are not getting along, that the Southerners cannot get along with the Fulanis and the Fulanis cannot get along with the Hausas, but that is the picture some people want to paint, and these people, and they are willing to do all it takes to paint that picture so that once that is indoctrinated into the minds of the people, then chaos can be unleashed. And there are different ideas on why they are doing this, but I can go into that, and that's just it. So it is not that we are saying, or at least somebody like me is saying, that all Fulanis are, cattle herdsmen, or all Fulani cattle herdsmen are killers? Absolutely not.
Beautiful, beautiful. I appreciate that, because that is a very sane approach to the issue, rather than a lot of emotional and temperamental kind of reaction that I see among our people, Nigerians, because we seem to generalize things. But I like the way you break it down. And I'm sorry, let me remove one Prince Charles here. Okay, so the way people in Nigeria have they like to approach things is to generalize things. And for example, when you mention the fact that not all S-men kill, that is a voice of sanity, and it's a voice of truth. Then when you say not all Hausa Fulani people are evil or want to kill Christians, it means you don't have the bigotry of our Nigerian pastors. I don't want the anger and bitterness of our people to be dictating their actions. We are a country of anger and bitterness. When you go to America, for example, the same thing with black people, because black people have been oppressed for so long. Because we have been oppressed for so long, if you notice, you will discover that black people are naturally reactional and sentimental in their reactions. For example, when I first came to this country, to Europe, we had 300 people coming from Nigeria, and we had 2,000 Nigerians in the country. And each time we see black people, white people laughing at us when we are passing by, our people want to fight. So why is it that the natural reaction that comes to a black man is to get angry and fight? Whenever they say we should line up, we should kill, even in the airport, they say we should kill, we are beginning to suspect. Once we see one man, white man, that doesn't kill, we say, but that white man didn't kill now, that one didn't kill now. We are sentimental and reactional. That's just the way we are, because we are used to thinking that the white man wants to oppress us, or somebody else wants to oppress us. So because of that, we are conditioned to always react and angry. So for example, in England, for example, or in the US, whenever the police want to stop black people, they say, that's why they say, don't get out, just stop, hold on to your something, sit down still. But some white people will say, why are you stopping me? It's racism. Yes, it could be racism, but do what you are told. But our people are so reactionary easily, and they are so, temperamental, and it is that is so heightened in Nigeria. It's so heightened. And the next thing Nigerian people do is, because of that anger that is imbibed in us, the first thing we do is either to blame religion or to blame tribalism. Religion and tribalism. Religion, tribalism. That's the only thing we can say. Religion, tribalism, or maybe politicians will blame tribalism. But that is the easy way out. That is elementary. That is primitive way of response. That is reacting. That is emotional response. Why don't you just sit down, do research, bring out some empirical evidences, and on the basis of the research and facts that you have, then make logical conclusions. Have scientific approach of research and critical thinking to everything. Don't just repeat what everybody is saying. But the problem I see in Nigeria is that because the politicians themselves, they are always reactional like this. Just giving speech, just to say something. And the masses are copying them, not knowing that is a bad precedence that those leaders are bringing in. For example, to say that Buhari is the head of, there is a video that they are circulating right now where a Yoruba man, but his speaking accent the name is Yoruba, but the accent is not Yoruba totally. But I think it's a Yoruba guy that has been living in the north for some time or so. He is talking that this is a group of herdsmen, that these are not herdsmen, these are military men, Islamic military men that have been trained to take over Nigeria and to eradicate Christianity from Nigeria And so some people are circulating this, and at the end of that organization that wants to eradicate all Christians in Nigeria, destroy all churches, and kill true herdsmen, it is the president himself that is the head and the president of that organization. I mean, elementary critical thinking and elementary questions, 3 questions, we just destroy that argument. You know, so some people are sending me this video. I said, I'm not stupid enough. I'm not that stupid to believe that's rubbish that man was talking about. It is rubbish. If that is the case, then the herdsmen killing should have started only under Buhari. So it means that because he set it up, they said he started it. That's why they put him in the power. So he's the one. But the herdsmen thing started in 2010. 2010, Buhari was not in government. 2010, it was another president that was in government. Why didn't you come to this particular conclusion during the time of, Jonathan? Why are people who are saying this not saying that during the time of Jonathan? Why didn't they say that it is the herdsmen who put Jonathan there as the head of the president, to start the whole thing and bring about, it is a sentiment. People react by sentiment instead of doing their research and react by fact. So that's why I like your judgment and I like your discussion, because you are even making a point that some of the people that were killed are even not done as themselves. So, but unfortunately, people will not even like to hear that from you. They would like to just say no. Well, and thank God that these people that were killed. Thank God that they were the killings was mainly in Benue this time. If it had been in Yoruba area, they would have said, oh, Yoruba people would have said, oh, okay, we are leaving Nigeria now. Oh, okay, we are leaving Nigeria. They want to just come and kill all of us. They hate the Yorubas. They will make it tribal. Hausas, Fulani hate the Yorubas. Oh, the Yorubas are their enemy. They hate us. But thank God that it is Benue now, so it is difficult to make that tribal. Then, if it had been in the east, it would have been worse. They would have said, oh yeah, that's why we want to do Biafra. That's why we have to go out. But because it's in Benue, which is at the border to the north, and is Middle West, they now say, okay, it is Christian. It is because they are Christians.
Now, we don't watch the video and we don't hear everything where they talk for inside the video. My own opinion about this whole thing be say, no be say they try to blame one particular people, or be one particular ethnic group as the problem of this country. But the thing be say, there is no ethnic group in Nigeria that goes about maiming and killing people like the way the Fulani people are doing in Nigeria. And now the reason why we get this opinion, say these people get one grand agenda and plan be that. We know say our religious leader and our politicians what we get for inside the country, and even the way they find this country called Nigeria, now major problem na in be for us. But for the past decade, the regular issue where we say Nigeria continue, they always get for every time and every season that this Fulani issue. You don't get any region where we say they never get problems with. They don't get problems with the people of the Hausas. They don't get problem with the people of the Middle Belt. They don't get problem with the people of the Eastern Nigeria, and they don't get problem with the people of the Western Nigeria. So no be them be the only ethnic group where we get for inside this country. There are hundreds of ethnic groups we have in Nigeria, but why be saying that only from this their own angle 9 issues they come like this? So you see, if they talk about the problems what we get for inside this country, we know one channel and put them on top of one people head saying that then be the issue what we get for inside this country. We get so many critical issues where we say that then be the problem of this country. But amongst all those critical issues, them still be part of one of those critical issues what we get for inside this country. So now my own opinion about this topic be this. Waiting be your own opinion about this topic. Make it drop it till you get to talk for inside the comment section.